You always see that the winners, at their very, very core, is a very pure, elegant idea, something simple, something where you can just explain to somebody in one sentence what it is.
Generally, people don't change that much. Our basic human behaviour hasn't changed and won't change that much. The technology around us does constantly change, but actually engaging people, I think there are still very simple ways to do that.
It's always about the idea, and then what juries love is seeing how you've used various channels or media or spaces to really bring that idea to life.
I think my one piece of advice for people submitting entries to the BIMAs is to remember that they are judged on 4 criteria, and those 4 criteria are creativity, interactivity, effectiveness and execution.
And it's really important that each piece of work is well represented in each of those 4 areas. They cover an equal weighting, and in fact you need to score strongly in each of those to make it through to the finalist round.
So just make it as easy as possible for the judges to judge against the 4 criteria.
In this, world in which we all have to bid for budget against each other and have to really show the return on investment of what we're doing in digital, any entry that cannot really build a very strong business case and really explain why the investment that the client made paid out is never going to win one of these awards, in my opinion.
Things that evidence behaviour change are the things, for me, that make an entry the most exciting.
From a client side point of view, I'm always thinking, if I'd spent that budget, what would I expect as an outcome?
One of the hardest things for the judges to measure is effectiveness. So my top tip would be really detailed with your data.
Show absolutes, not just percentage increases, because otherwise we all sit there and try and understand what's really behind that metric.
In a world where a lot of the information is showcased on social, it's easy to look and see how many people have actually liked or tweeted something, or to actually go onto YouTube and see how many views or what the quality of comments are. I think entrants need to be really clear about what it is they're expecting the judges to judge. I've seen quite a few instances where there's been an inference that they've done all this, they've done that, and they just haven't followed through or made it clear about what is their work and what they're wanting the judges to look at.
And what did you actually make? What did you run? What went live? And again, a muddled jury is a jury who's not going to vote for your piece of work.
Try to tell the story. Try to bring the judges with you. Try to bring the people with you on that journey that you've went through. So ultimately, what the challenge you faced, what the brief was, how you kind of started to develop the solution.
So give us the strategic context, explain to us what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to overcome, what challenge you're facing, to give us that context of where the brand or the case study is coming from.
Make those submissions punchy, really grab the attention of those judges and really try and light up their imagination.
I think brevity is a really important one. I think that in the judging process there's quite a lot to get through. You're trying to give each one a kind of equal weighting, but I think a paragraph on, for example, the business challenge, a paragraph on how you've been creative, a paragraph on the effectiveness data is really important. So they're kind of bite-sized chunks.
You do the basic things like proofing it and making it scannable, and these might seem like minor things, but actually in categories that are hard fought, these become real differentiators.
I get really annoyed when people actually kind of a poorly written entry where actually it's not very good English. So just pay attention to the links, make sure that they work and provide us with the right information. If you've password protected the video, make sure that kind of password is still valid and people can look at the kind of the content.
So my big advice on showreels is they really help the judges. You can gain some really quick insights, but like anything, if it isn't evidenced, then it doesn't work.
Because sometimes a bad film will actually harm your submission. It's not neutral, it's actually negative. So don't overdress it, make sure you get to the point quickly.
Typically we would say probably between 90 and 120 seconds is the optimum length of a show reel. You know, the judges, you have to see a lot of these, you want them to be pretty snappy, and it's amazing actually how long 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes feels. Don't fall into the trap of having a cheesy American voiceover and telling the judges just how amazing the piece of work is. You know, the judges are the people that will make their minds up of whether something is the best piece of thin sliced bread. So don't go over, don't go over the top on the superlatives.
And don't say, and the blogosphere went wild.
Yeah, don't say and the blogosphere went wild, because that really pisses everybody off.